You know, sometimes we're not prepared for adversity. When it happens, sometimes we're caught short. We don't know exactly how to handle it when it comes up. Sometimes we don't know just what to do when adversity takes over. And I have advice for all of us. I got it from our pianist, Joe Zawinul, who wrote this tune. And it sounds like what you're supposed to say when you have that kind of problem. It's called Mercy, Mercy, Mercy. Mercy, mercy, mercy. Much good. Thank you.
David Sanborn, Indio. Name of that one from 1976. Great stuff. Gotta tell you, I love that music. Jazz is fabulous. David Sanborn. Man, he was fabulous there. I like that stuff. And before that, Cannonball Adderley Quartet with a great tune that became a hit record in the 1960s. That was from 1966. Mercy, Mercy, Mercy. Started the hour off just about the beginning of the last hour with Betty Goodman and the 1 o'clock jump. I got Thelonious Monk coming up. Stay with me for that one. And we'll have a look at our program schedule as we're doing our 50-minute music hour. One more weather report for Clinton, Iowa, too, coming up. So stay tuned for that. We'll close out with that. And give you our broadcast schedule. And do some shout-outs this hour, too. And all coming up this hour here on GGRB Online. And a quick bio on David Sanborn. As a matter of fact, he's got a birthday coming up. He's still around. He's still around. I thought he was gone, but he's still around. David William Sanborn. He was born July 30th, 1945. He's an American alto saxophonist. And he worked with many genres in his solo career and recordings, typically blending jazz with instrumental pop. You heard a lot of that earlier with that cover of Smoke Gets in Your Eyes by the Platters. He did a great job with that. I love that one. I always puts tears to my eyes every time I hear it. It's a great piece. He didn't realize his first solo album, Taking Off, in 1975, and had been playing the saxophone way before that when he was in high school. He was most commercially successful as American saxophonist to earn a prominence since the 1980s. Sanborn described by critics Scott Yano as the most influential saxophonist in pop and R&B and crossover players in the past 20 years. He often identified with radio-friendly smooth jazz, stuff I play here. Yeah, and we'll play a lot of his stuff. I love his stuff. Smooth jazz. He has expressed a disinclination for the genre and his association with it, but absolutely incredible. And his career actually got started in blues with Albert King and Little Milton in the age of 14, and continued playing the blues. He joined Paul Butterfield's band in 1967, and then he recorded 4 Butterfield albums, horn sections, member of the Soloists from 1967 to 71. Mid-70s, though, he did a bebop. Sanborn became prominent in newly popularized jazz funk scene with the Brecker Brothers, which we'll have to play sometime. The Brecker Brothers band became influential with Michael Brecker and was along with the brothers, and recorded his first solo album, Taking Off, and nowadays something of a jazz funk hero, but did a lot of recordings, believe it or not, in the 1960s, highly regarded sessions with such artists as James Brown. Yeah, James Brown, Brian Furley, Eric Clapton, and Bobby Charles, Cat Stevens, among many. And well known for a lot of good stuff. And in 1994, he appeared in the Celebration of Music with Pete Townsend of The Who, and also known Daughtry sings Townsend, and did a lot of stuff with some rock bands, especially Roger Daltrey. Wow! So this guy really kind of went all over the board as far as his music was concerned. Absolutely fabulous. He was in 2006. He was featured with Gordon Goodwin's Big Fat Band, and recorded a track, Play That Funky Music, a remake of the Wild Cherry hit. I'll have to try to find that in a big band style. I gotta try to find that. Sanborn often performed with Japan's Blue Note venues as well. David Sanborn, absolutely fabulous, and we'll try to squeeze a couple more in there before we close out today, because absolutely tremendous artist, definitely, and absolutely great. All right, the best of jazz right here on GJRB Online. I'm going to take a Weather on the Fives break coming up here real shortly. Right now, though, it's Clark Terry from 1975, Straight No Chaser. Oh yeah, Straight No Chaser, Clark Terry on the Best of Jazz on a Saturday afternoon here on GJRB Online in Clinton, Iowa. Just north, Clinton, Iowa, just about northeast, slightly from about 41 miles northeast of the Quad Cities. And this is GJRB Online on Spreaker across America. And I'm Gary J. Rustin. Thanks a lot for tuning in to the Best of Jazz right here on GJRB Online, on the GJRB Online Network, and locally in the north end of Clinton here, just around the GJRB vicinities, you'll hear us on FM at 106.7, our 9-foot signal. Cool Jazz 106.7, bringing you the best of jazz this afternoon, and 50-minute music hours every hour right here on Spreaker on GJRB Online. Let's take a look at our weather on the fives right now. Take a look at what's going on in weather today. We're going to take a look at some temperatures across the land right now, and visit some areas that we didn't get a chance to do yet. And so we're going to do that right now. We're going to visit some areas here like Shreveport, Louisiana, and taking a look at your weather for Shreveport, Louisiana right now as we get to that. Just waiting for that to go in. Here we go. Lubbock, Texas. Let's do that first. Lubbock, Texas right now. Look at sunny skies, partly sunny skies pretty much all week, with temperatures in the 80s tomorrow, 81 degrees. Then it's going to drop to 68 on Monday. There's a chance of some showers. Tuesday, chance of showers again, 82 degrees, 81 degrees. Wednesday, and then Thursday, 83. But the highest point will be Friday. Partly cloudy skies with a high of 89 degrees. Nighttime lows ranging in the 50s for Shreveport, Louisiana. And we're talking to OBFSU John from Houston, Texas. You got to see their weather. Oh boy, he's right. We're going to take a look at that right now. Houston, Texas. Taking a look at your weather right now. Let's fast forward that a little bit and take a look at Houston's weather forecast. Take a look at that right now. 95 degrees under partly sunny skies. And your dew point is at 68, so that means you got high humidity. 41%. Barometric pressure 29.77 inches of mercury. You got winds at about 8 miles per hour right now in Houston, Texas. Here's your forecast for Houston, Texas for the next 24 to 48 hours here. Let's take a look at that right now and see where we're at here. Tonight, 77 degrees for your nighttime low. It'll be clear. Tomorrow, up to 99 degrees. Oh, man. Yeah, I can see what he means by that. So 99 degrees for Houston, Texas. And tomorrow night, drop it to 79. But tomorrow, it's going to be fully cloudy. It's going to be sunshine tomorrow in Houston with a high of 99. So, our other Black Dragon is also Houston, about north of Houston, and he's going to get about the same. And it's going to be interesting. Take a look at Lubbock, 81 degrees, partly cloudy sky, partly sunny skies, so partly cloudy skies, whatever the case. 68 degrees on Monday, so that's for Lubbock, Texas, and then 81 degrees on Wednesday. So, but then Shreveport, Louisiana, take a look at them. 94 degrees for tomorrow. Yeah, 94 degrees under partly sunny skies. 89, it's getting close to 90 on Monday for people in Shreveport. 84 degrees Tuesday, and then it's going to be 86 and pretty much partly sunny all week long. Nighttime lows ranging from 61 from 62 to 71 degrees. Tomorrow night it's going to go down to 71, 73 for Monday, and 65 degrees on Wednesday. And ending out the week, 86 degrees under partly sunny skies for Shreveport with nighttime lows in the mid-60s, about 63. Weather on the fives. 25 and 45 minutes past the hour on all music shows, 25 and 55 on all talk shows. We'll have one more weather on the fives coming up in just a little bit here. And we'll take a look at the Clinton weather forecast for just right here in our local area coming up next. Weather on the fives right here on GJRB Online. And we got some more great jazz for you coming up. So stay with me. We're going to close out with Thelonious Monk, and we're going to wrap up our show for today with some shout-outs. So that's coming up next as we continue the best of jazz. And thank you so much for listening today. Hope you enjoyed the program wherever you're listening across America. And if you like our program, hit that like button. Always glad when we get those people hitting that like button. It means you're tuning in, you're listening, you're enjoying it. Okay? LPFM, Clinton. Thelonious Monk, and live at the Black Hawk with Around Midnight on GJRB Online on the Best of Jazz. We're closing out the show for today. Thanks a lot for tuning into the program, and I hope you enjoyed it. We'll be coming back with one more final part here in just a couple of seconds. As we return, we'll be right back with more of the Best of Jazz as we close out the show for today here on GJRB Online and the GJRB Online Network. Yeah, thanks a lot for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the program tonight. And please hit that like button, because I want to know who's listening out there tonight. So please do drop in that like button, because we had some people listening, and we'll talk about that coming up next. Cool Jazz 106.7 KJACLP FM Clinton. And welcome back to the Best of Jazz. We're going to be closing up the program here real soon, and of course we're going to wrap up our program. And I want to thank you so much for tuning in this afternoon here on GJRB Online for the Best of Jazz, especially our big fat soft underbelly, John out of Houston, who was listening for a little while. Had a little cool down, was cutting the grass, I suppose, doing some lawn work, and it was 90 degrees in Houston today. So you can imagine that that's not real good conditions for doing a lot of lawn work. So, wow, we're talking craziness there. So, yeah, that can't be good for pretty much that. So thanks a lot, John, for joining us this afternoon. I hope you enjoyed the jazz, kicking back with some really good music, enjoying the sound of live jazz here. We played this for you quite a bit here on GJRB Online, and of course, like I said before, heard a lot more often as we get into the new spontaneous summer, be on the air just about almost every day. Right now, kind of a lot of stuff going on, which is kind of taking a lot of my time. So I don't really get a chance to be on the air pretty much every day for a while yet. I have some things to do, doctor's appointments, stuff like that, some family activity, dealing with some things. I just have some stuff going on. Friend's funeral this week. A friend of mine who died here last week, about almost a couple weeks ago, Verna Unger, a good friend of mine. And it was a surprising shock. And so the funeral's Tuesday, so I will not be broadcasting on Tuesday. I got some stuff I'll probably be doing at the other studio. Up at the Church of Christ, though. But other than that, I'm not going to be on the air until maybe Thursday night. We'll see about maybe Wednesday. We'll probably do something in the morning a little bit, play some music or talk or something. We'll see what happens. Then Friday next week, I'm thinking about a Gary Russin program. We're going to be on the air at 3 o'clock Central Time. For the Gary Russin program. So we'll talk about that. I am planning on that show being on the air Friday, though, for sure. We'll do a Gary Russin program. And maybe a Saturday extra, because I was talking to Ben Osman, and I told him I was doing jazz this week. So maybe perhaps we'll work in a Gary Russin program Saturday extra for next Saturday. See what happens there. As of now, that's pretty much what I've got planned up for this week, because like I said before, things have been kind of busy and don't really get a chance to really plan on really getting a program schedule done. That's why I told you earlier that I am not scheduling programming anymore on this station. It's just going to be whatever, whenever. So I'm just giving you the chances for being on the air next week, which is very slim to none, with a possibility of being on Friday next week with the Gary Russin program. But I think the week after that, I should be able to be back on the air with another show. So I'm looking at that as a possibility, maybe next week. This week, the Gary Russin program will be maybe on Friday next week, and a Saturday double day talk show. The Gary Russin program Saturday Extra next week, and that will not even sure exactly what station this will be on locally on our 9-foot signal, depending on the Cubs baseball schedule, either 88.9 or 107.9. Other than that, I think I know for sure next Saturdays we'll be on our 88.9, and that will be the Gary Russin program, Saturday Extra, and I'll see if we can get a hold of Ben if he can make another show. So we'll see what happens there. I hope you enjoyed the interview I had with him last time we did a show. It was pretty good. I have to listen to it. I haven't listened to it yet, so probably a real interesting conversation. So, whatever the case may be, I am going to take a brief break, station identification stuff, and then I'll be right back, and we'll continue and wrap up this edition of the Best of Jazz right after that. I have a shout out and one more selection to play, and then we'll close out the show for another edition of the Best of Jazz. So stay tuned for that on the GJRB online network.